All right, so the first thing that I do is I hold my core, I cross my arms and hold my side
Okay.
to the bottom. And I kind of feel like the energy flow, it's like your hands hold some of the chi and the energy that's flowing through you. So you're kind of plugging that back into you. And later,
Okay.
you can of course change it yourself later on in, when you're doing it on your own. But our hands are, I do tend to move different places. It's just this little routine is what works for me again and again. So, and then okay, so then I just start rocking side to side. It's kind of like sit bone to sit bone.
And are your feet crossed or touching? I can't see your
Oh,
feet.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so let's see. What I normally do is the first time I go through this routine, I just touch the bottom of my feet together. And then
Perfect. That's
the
what I was
second
doing.
time,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
the second time I do it, I will cross my legs in my least favorite way. And then I do it a third time
Yeah.
in my favorite way. So
Okay. Perfect.
I think if anyone, had trouble even doing this, they could do it on a couch with their legs facing out and maybe work up to this. Of course, if you're really advanced, you could do like lotus position and all that. But yeah.
Yeah. Not there yet. Maybe I'll get there. Okay.
And this rocking is just so easy because like if I do sit-ups and stuff like that, I tend to get like I have these weird energy blockages in my torso and it tends to
Hmm.
just make them worse if I a lot of exercise that I do, it's like the energy just blocks even more. It's like a buildup of a block and
Yeah.
this is the
So
only
it's showing you to do it a different way, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, this is the only thing I found that's just so gentle. And over time, it really is like I really feel like the core strengthening. And I mean, you can tell right now probably that you're engaging
Yeah.
the core, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah. And of course, when you do it on your own, you can take however long, but because of the Zoom recording limit, maybe we'll just, okay. So then the next thing I do is I'm going to anchor my left arm anywhere on my left leg that feels comfortable.
Okay.
And then I'll keep my right arm where it was. And then I'm going to rock to my right. I'm going to keep my head relatively still and just kind of go on that sit bone and center. So I'm kind of really isolating that, like onto your right or your right bun and back to the center. Yeah, and then the arms are like this to kind of give a little relief. Like you could keep them crossed and hugging yourself, but at a certain point of doing that too long, my hips get a little bit tired. And so that's why I like to anchor one of the arms. And since I'm leaning right and we'll be leaning a little further in a bit, I don't want that arm in the way on my right. So that's why I'm doing this.
Okay.
And then I will start to lean like about a quarter of the way over to the right. Yeah. Just keep the gentle rocking or gentle bouncing, however you want to call it. Right. You can start to feel, I don't know what you're feeling right now.
It
Oh,
just feels good, like just loosening up, you know?
yeah, it's like it's such a self-care kind of thing for me. Like it just makes me feel good. And then I'll go over kind of as far as comfortable.
Hmm.
And then the next will be basically repeating what we did, and it'll be on the other side. So we'll switch our arms. We'll anchor our right arm anywhere on our right leg that feels good. And it'll change for me. Sometimes it's more towards my knee, sometimes it's more towards my ankle. Yeah, you got it. And then we'll rock onto our left sit bone, kind of keeping our head a bit straight and back to center, just to kind of isolate that left sit bone, I guess you would call it.
So it feels like when you're more upright, it goes a little faster than when you're leaning. Is that true, or that doesn't matter?
Yeah, I guess it would because you're not moving as much distance.
Hmm.
Yeah. When you're doing it, it's just such a great way to connect with your body. So whatever
Yeah.
your body's telling you that in that time, you're just
Yeah.
you're just grounding in, but not in a, abrasive way. It's just like this kind of
Yeah.
very fluid way. You were talking about meditating on the grass, and I did that once
Yeah.
when I was trying to specifically connect with these particular large rock formations just around my condo area. Um, they look so strange to me. They look kind of, I don't know how to describe, kind of bubbly. And when I would walk by them at times, okay, sorry, let's do our lean a quarter of the
Okay.
way. When I would walk by them at times, they would grab my attention like
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna move like they were an animal. I mean, there was times when I was really looking at them like, is that an
That's so
animal?
interesting.
And it's like, no, it's just a rock. And so I was doing this grid work challenge and and it did want you to meditate on the earth. And so I decided to try to connect with those rocks and I sat on the grass near them and um I got this very kind of rocking kind of same kind of feeling. Like it was as if they were
Mhm.
showing me that they're not sort of like locked in this frozen prison like I would sort of imagine. Okay, let's go all the way over or as far as comfortable. But they sort of seem to, be I felt this vibration that it seems to be coming from them. And it's more like, no, we're just vibing and floating almost like trees are in the wind.
Wow. That's amazing to think about. Like you wouldn't think that, you know?
I
Mhm.
know, because I always feel bad, like when I hear different things, like, yeah, rocks have consciousness. I'm like, well, that just sucks if you just like stuck and frozen. Like,
Yeah.
but
And
they,
then nobody thinks that you do, so they're not even engaging with you. You're just
yeah,
waiting for somebody like you to come along.
but it's just seemed like, no, no, we're in our own world. We're in our, we connect with each other. We're just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They got
doing
it going on.
good. We're
That's
just,
so cool.
yeah. Okay. All right, so then the next thing I would do is come back up and anchor both my arms, my right to my right leg, my left to my left leg, and rock forward and backwards.
I love your background.
Thanks. Yeah, this computer I'm using has the best camera. The one I normally work on, it's the camera's just very dull. It's like a black and white kind of it almost looks black and white, but
Hmm.
it's not. It's just really
Yeah.
unvibrant. Let's see. Okay, and then the next one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bounce my knees generally symmetrically.
This just making me realize how tight like my hip flexors are, you know?
My
Yeah,
hips,
it feels good to loosen up.
yeah, they can be really tight. And um at first I would do this a lot without straightening, but then I was like, I need to straighten in between. So after we do this bouncing, we're gonna just remain rather still with our legs. Um,
Hmm.
and then that's when I kind of do a lot of like self-massage type of stuff. So I'll
Hmm.
still myself. And then this is another really great time to just listen to your body. Like what does it want? You know, Sometimes just holding places with that chi running through you. I've noticed through
Yeah, like
doing
my
this,
knees need attention right now, so
yeah,
I'll do
just
that.
do whatever. Yeah. I've noticed through
Yeah,
doing this that the upper, that kind of bigger vertebrae that you feel it in your neck, in the back,
yeah.
seems to be tied to motion sickness for me. And
Oh,
so,
interesting.
yeah, and so I like to really give that some support. Your whole spine, is going to be supporting you a lot through this. So I'm just touching it with the back of my hand here, rubbing behind me. My spine is a good spot. Yeah. Um, and actually, I'll mention because circulation, I realize is so key for your whole body. It's, something both in Chinese medicine and Western medicine, they both agree. Let's see, what else do I
Yeah.
do? My problem area, I like to get the circulation
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. And your lymph too, right? That's the same thing, right? Your lymph circulation. That's
Yeah.
important for that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's this guy, that does qigong, that explained it in a way, and also he kind of demonstrated it. He explained it a bit, and then I put things together through what he did. That
Yeah.
once the blood gets to an area, it's going to do all the healing that you need. And so,
Mm.
um, getting the blood there, I've kind of realized there's, some general ways. Like one is temperature. So
Yeah.
if you cool an area, it's gonna um it's gonna decrease any swelling. So things are
Yeah.
gonna go um easier. And then if you heat it up, it's gonna pump that blood. So there's
Mhm.
temperature. And I like these, I brought these to demonstrate these hot hands. They're
Mhm.
made for like warming your hands in the winter or whatever. You can get them online. They stay warm for a lot of long time. So if you are
Yeah.
working on a certain area, you don't have to run to the microwave. The ice pack will stay cold for a long time, but these are convenient. And then I have these tiger patches. It's like tiger balm, but it's in a pack.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so temperature, movement, and then pressure, the massage ball. Um, I'll lay on these and then I'll show you when I straighten what I like to do with this routine. But when you put pressure on something, of course, the blood is going to flow there. So those are
Yeah.
some major ways. Of course, there's like acupuncture probably works in that way and other things
Mhm.
too.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so as much as you want to do with that. And then before I straighten, I'm gonna rock in sort of an asymmetrical, like a teeter-totter kind of a thing. Loosen those hips.
Okay.
And if you have ever have any trouble coming out of this or being cross-legged, I've discovered what I do is I just stop as soon as I feel tension because like sometimes my right hip will want to kind of catch in a certain way that doesn't feel
Mhm.
good coming out. So what I'll do is okay, so I'll demonstrate. I just move it very slowly and then I relax my entire body and then I move it a little bit more. Relax my entire.
Yeah.
And that's a way to come out if you ever get caught up. So yeah, so then my next thing
Yeah.
would be to straighten. Now I normally save this to the end, but because we may run out of time,
Yeah.
this is where I take the massage ball and I put it, I sit on it
Hmm.
between my tailbone and my sit bone, and I
Okay.
work the sit bone outwards.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
think that sitting in normal office chair really tends to compact our area there and our hips
Yeah.
and everything. And so it just feels so good to get it out. So
And that's actually called just like a massage ball on Amazon. Like I'm
yeah,
not familiar with those. Okay.
yeah. About the size of a tennis ball, I guess. I think they have some with a few different sizes, but
Hmm. Okay.
I don't know how well you can do, put it against
Yeah.
my black.
I can see
Um,
it. Yeah.
yeah. So then the next thing after I could do some massaging, rubbing, whatever. And then yeah, normal I did used to do this every time I straighten my legs, but it gets a little laborious to like be shifting. So I normally just save that till the very last time. So then I would go into the crossing my legs in my least favorite way.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I guess we have enough time to go through it a little bit again. So we're gonna just back and forth holding the core.
It's very relaxing.
I mean, I do this when I wake up. Like a lot of times, like, people get that waking up at like 3 or something, or waking up earlier than they want to be up, right? And so doing this in bed is perfect. it's like,
Yeah.
and I can do it before I go to sleep, and it's just, oh, it's great. I might do it, and my husband, he has sets his alarm super early, so if I just get up to use the bathroom early in the morning, I'll do this and then go back to sleep if I can, if I have a little bit of time.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
yeah, it's just okay. So now we're gonna take our left arm and anchor it onto our left leg, and then go to the sit bone and back to center. Yeah, it's like I can't get enough of doing this now because I finally found something that I can movement that feels good.
Mhm.
Even walking for me, like I was describing that heavy feeling. I mean, I walk my dog and it's like it felt just so tedious, just so heavy, and now it's like I'm finally starting to come out of that due to this, I guess,
Mm,
strengthening the
cool.
core and getting
Yeah.
the circulation going. It's just such a
And
relief.
maybe we're releasing energy too, because you keep saying heaviness. It could be energetic and muscular, right? So
Yeah, it
I
was
feel like this could be
definitely
releasing it. Yeah.
something supernatural to it because it was so heavy. It was just like, am I, am I like,
No, I feel the same way. That's why I listen to like podcasts a lot or something to distract me when I'm walking my dog, because I felt very similar to what you just described. Yeah.
go into the lean? Yeah, I guess it's a merging of energy fields. Sometimes I feel like in a subconscious way, is I'm very much more. I heard that some people tend to either be more heart based or wisdom based, and I would say I'm definitely more
Hmm.
heart based. But sometimes I find myself in kind of foolish position. Like I think that I just go for certain things subconsciously. Like maybe I'm doing stuff in the astral without really like heeding any wisdom or like I just feel like,
Hmm.
yeah, just go for it. I mean, I do that in real life sometimes, like go out with people and like, yeah, I feel like dancing. Come on, guys, let's dance. And if they're like, no one's really dancing, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go dance. Like I
Yeah.
like
Good for you.
sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna lean over as much as sometimes I feel that I just find myself have gotten myself into something that may have not been that wisdom smart, and just in a sort of light-hearted kid way where
Yeah.
playful, where, oh, what's the harm in this, and then it's like I'm there and I'm like, oh, I see. Right? So that's why I think something must have happened where I just got myself into this really heavy energy, trying to maybe be very playful in my
Mhm.
frequencies. And then it was just like, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Most people, other people are like, yeah, that's why you don't do that. But I wasn't even conscious of what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I have to like reverse engineer, like, okay, what am I gonna do? All right, let's switch to the left. Go to that sit
We
bone.
still are uncomfortable sitting. We didn't switch that yet, right?
Right.
Okay.
Until we straighten. Of course, you can do your own version of this in the future, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is something that I just over time, trying to do the sitting and then realizing like, oh, I feel like moving or stretching feels good. Oh, this feels good. And then, yeah, over time, I just kind of put this sequence together, modified it, put it together, and then this is the one I've been sticking with for, I
Hmm.
don't know. I mean, it might be 3 to 4 months since I really started to intentionally try to spend time sitting with the triangle structure.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, like I said, just can't get enough of it now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can move and feel good.
Yeah. About how long do you think on average you do it total each time, each day, like each session?
I mean, half an hour
Yeah,
to an
keep
hour,
trying.
depending on how much time I have.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's see where are we? Let's do the quarter. Quarter. Yeah, and I mean, my muscles in my core are probably a lot stronger than they were when I first started doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is getting tiring for you or if it's still feeling
No, not yet. I mean, I could feel it working though.
okay. Yeah, because I mean, you could like put a pillow sort of sit on it with it under you more in the back of you to sort of
Mhm.
lean you forward if
Yeah.
you feel like you're having trouble. But yeah, that's why I do the anchoring and things. But I've tried that a few times, but
Hmm.
um yeah. Okay, let's go all the way over to or as whatever feels comfortable as far as you can go.
I'm feeling a pull on my knee a little bit, so I think I'm gonna loosen my cross a little bit. That seems to help.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not crossed very tight in this least favorite way. And then other people I've seen, okay, let's go to the middle and rock forward and backwards with our arms anchored. Others people I've seen where they are kind of like this because they can't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. And then I think that, like I was saying before, if you're even concerned about, or if you know that's concerned about getting into this position at all, that you could still do it on a couch or a chair, this rocking. Just have your
Hmm.
knees pointed outwards to get that triangle base.
Yeah.
And then the next will be the bouncing, symmetrical bouncing.
Hmm.
How many dogs do you have?
One dog, two cats.
Okay. I have one dog and one
Yeah,
cat.
just had cats for 2 years. Um, I have dogs the rest of the time, and I have a good mix. What about you?
One dog and one cat.
Okay.
Okay, now we'll just let our legs be still and we'll just do some self-care, whatever feels good for
And
us.
I volunteered with my son in a rescue when we were in charge of, they have like the catteries and the pet store. So we were the ones taking care of the animals in there. And next thing you know, we adopted a cat, and then another one came to our back door. So that's how that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured this thing out about motion sickness in this one area.
Misunderstood. Like they're oh, in your cervical. Yeah.
Yeah, I was visiting family and there was a bit of a ride from the airport to the to where they were staying, and it was a shuttle on some windy roads. And
Yeah.
yeah, let's see. Oh, doing my hips. That's a good one too. I often have to anchor one arm because if you do it at the same time, you get a little hard to.
Yeah. Fall over.
I did this hot and cold pack. These hand warmers get so hot that I have to put them in like a sock or something.
Yeah. They
Really
work pretty
hot.
good.
And then I'll put like a scarf around me so I can put them wherever I want to or tuck them
Yeah. That's smart. Yeah. I think what's really good about this is your like the self-care part, because that's what we're being told to do now is we're like, we're wired to help everybody else and to give to everybody else. And this is giving to ourselves. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like you're really getting that feedback loop with your body. I feel like that's where I brought up the med bed thing. It's kind of like, I mean, first of all, it dawned on me that there's something to, people sitting cross-legged, all the ascenders, masters, you usually see them sitting cross-legged. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like, and somebody I mentioned that too said, well, I think they're meditating. It's like, yeah, they are, but I mean, you could meditate in any position. Like,
absolutely.
why
Yeah,
that position, and I think
yeah,
it's just really good for the circulation. ChatGPT was also saying something about how it's conducive to mind, like meditation and self-improvement, mental practices or something like that, because I think because when your body feels better, you know, it's
yeah,
automatically going to put you in that frequency where your mind is, attaching to better thoughts and
totally.
everything.
And when you're sitting like this, you think about like your chakras are lined up pretty good,
That's
like
another thing it said.
more so than when you're sitting on a chair or lying down or yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why because I'm like, that's, yeah, like sitting in a chair or standing, but it definitely
Mhm.
said that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it is. Maybe I don't know. I don't really, in my mind, I don't really see it that way. Like I see like you're sitting in a chair, aren't they? Lined, but I don't know. You're absolutely right. It definitely said
I
that.
think most people don't sit and like this makes you sit straight and tall. And
Yeah,
most people don't like we sit in chair, like they don't always sit like that way in a chair, maybe, or they cross their legs, or I don't know. Just my thoughts.
it's absolutely true. Okay, let's do our teeter totter. Mhm. And then we'll straighten whatever you reform your self-care here. Then now we get to cross in our favorite way, and by then I'm usually pretty loose in that. And I don't push myself, like I don't try to like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of however it wants to go. I figure maybe one day I'll get to the lotus position. I don't know. So okay, I'm gonna hug and rock back and forth, and it's just the same thing.
Do you do yoga?
I have tried yoga and I've not been crazy about it.
Mm.
Maybe after I get stronger from doing this, it would feel better.
Yeah.
Because that's what I find with other, movement since I've been doing this, but I haven't been doing
Yeah. You have to feel good and confident about it. Otherwise, it could be discouraging. I'm thinking. I'm getting back into it.
it. Okay.
But I'm trying to think of the practitioner that I use, but she's very good about giving alternatives and like easing into how do I say this? Like she's mindful of how to transition your body into the different positions, which is not typical
Mm,
that I've seen in yoga, and that seems to make a difference for me. It's just easier, like for lack of a better way to say it.
yeah.
I think your name is Sadie Nardini. Don't quote me on that though, but I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is just so gentle. Like I can do it right after I eat, no problem.
Yeah.
By the time after my lunch, just
Mhm.
go right into it, and it's um yeah, I kind of see, yeah, it could be a springboard to other types of movement, feeling better. And of course, I'm sure it is nice to have variety, but I also kind of sense that I'm gonna continue to come back to this, or
Yeah.
like maybe it progresses into like the
Yeah. You know what I see for this? Like it's just a thought that came in is, music and then intentions. Like you're rocking and you're picturing your energy and your sacral chakra opening up, or I don't know, just something like that, almost like a guided, almost like a moving meditation with nice
Mhm.
music, maybe even nature sounds. I think that would be nice.
Yeah. Okay, let's anchor our left arm onto our left leg and then go to that sit bone. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when I'm doing it, I'm like, like early in the morning, I'm like practically asleep. And I just,
Mhm. Mhm.
the only problem with that is I sometimes forget where I am in the
Yeah.
process.
You're
Sometimes
still
I,
getting stuff from it though. But I think like with it just depends on where you are. Like I know for me, because of my overactive mind, meditation didn't come easy, which is like why it's so interesting that I'm reinventing myself and all this energy stuff because I'm such a left brain scientist, like, at least I was. Um, so for people like me, starting out with a guided one is a good way to start. And then you get comfortable enough. Like now with grounding, I can sit and do my own thing. But at the beginning, I wanted somebody to talk me through, here's the breath, you're still, the roots are
absolutely.
coming out of your feet. Like, I needed help to get started. So
Yeah.
I feel like this could be something like that. Like the beginners could do it by the script, but then, finally you just get the feeling like you sit on the grass to just close your eyes and do your thing. So
Yeah.
I think it could be good for everything.
Okay, let's lean quarter. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I did my dog's party. I did a group therapy thing where she's like, okay, then, James, stop. Um, she led us through a guided meditation. It was actually like an audio tape, and
Mm,
it was something about a river and rocks settling to the bottom
mm,
of the river.
mm.
And I remembered that. I think it was during COVID when things were getting pretty hectic. I remembered that. And so I started to look into guided meditations. Okay, let's lean as far over as we can. And yeah, I started just doing them just for 10 minutes, something like that. Actually, the way it worked, it must have been before COVID because I started, I became committed to 10 minutes doing those like 5 days a week at the end of my lunch break,
Mhm,
um, for a long time before COVID
mm,
because my my sort of New Year's resolution, one year was to, I called it to um, master time management or to get better with time management. All right, let's switch our sides. We're gonna go on to that left sit bone and back to center. When time just starts feeling like it's going way too fast.
yeah,
Not necessarily all with even the good things started feeling like my husband would want to schedule all these things and I'm just like everything's going too fast. I can't I want to do all these fun things in addition to all the things we have to do, but after a while it's not fun when there's too much. So yeah, I started this
right.
practice of just 10 minutes a day. And then like after maybe close to a year, or maybe a little past a year, if it was starting in the new year, um, COVID hit. Of course, everything changed with
Mhm. Yeah,
scheduling. Um, to the point now where I come to realize that when life does feel too fast for me, that's when I need to start doing that again. And even
mhm.
though it's just 10 minutes, and like you said, I would play the thing, but at a certain point, I realized I wasn't following along with it anymore. I was
Yeah,
just kind of using it as a timer,
mhm.
just to kind of, I would just, what was I doing with my mind? I don't even know. I was just letting things settle in a way.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do the one quarter. Um, I didn't have a particular practice. I was just trying to slow things down in my life and just taking time to let my mind do its own, I guess, subconscious processing. It's
yeah.
probably what it was.
Just having that quiet time. Yeah,
Yeah, so now I realize like if life is going too fast, then I do that and it works well, I could probably be better about doing it, but you know, and that, but now I do this, and it's so similar, you know. Like I might have a tendency, okay, let's go all the way over. I might have a tendency to want to listen to something on YouTube while I'm doing this.
Mhm.
Um, Even early in the morning, before bed, whatever. But if I feel like my life is going too fast, then I intentionally don't listen to anything while I'm doing this, at least for half of it or something, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah,
It's like it didn't make sense to me that my sisters, I think, said, pointed it out. It's like you're connecting to stillness. You're connecting to that vibration of stillness.
yeah, yeah, to that 0 point they talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go back to anchoring both and back and forth. And then our symmetrical, bouncing our knees. And then our still legs and the gentle embrace or the gentle massage. There was a time when it just felt nice to just hold places of my body.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but now it's kind of generally feeling better to massage. So what I think whatever strikes you in the moment, whatever your body is calling for. But the spine is good. Oh, and then I forgot to do it in the first one when our feet are to the bottoms of our feet are together. That's a nice time to give yourself a little foot rub.
Yeah, right.
You could do it now, but the one foot's on top and the other on the bottom.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
know.
Okay, and then we can do our teeter totter type of straighten. And then yeah, as the last step for me, since you don't have one, I won't put us through doing it. But yeah, is where I put the massage ball between the tailbone and the sit bone, and I work the sit bone outwards.
Okay.
And then that's pretty much it.